And welcome back, everyone. Let me actually there we go, so you can see the other cores. Welcome back to Lantern Core videos. Today, our Lantern Core video comes to us from Brandon Nix and 878G, who asked the question, what Lantern Core does Gamera belong into? And it makes sense. I've done Godzilla, I've done Mothra now, I might as well get the Gamera. And yes, Ghidorah and the other kaiju have been asked for as well. It's just Gamera came up in terms of the list. And Gamera is a bit more unique than Godzilla is, that's for certain. Gamera runs a lot more of an emotional spectrum than Godzilla does. Godzilla does? Godzilla does. Hey, you want some Godzilla does, everyone? They're really tasty. They taste like lizard. These Godzilla does amazing than Godzilla does. Gamera is the protector of Earth. Gamera will give it's their life. I don't actually know if Gamera is a man or male or female, to be honest. Gamera, I think it's depicted as a male. Gamera will give his life for, not just the planet, but, for the sake of children, which Gamera really cares for. Gamera's very intelligent, knows how to analyze and strategize. But Gamera has also felt like this people look at humans as a possible threat to the planet. And Gamera has been portrayed a lot more as kind of like a villain in some of its iterations than others. But either way, Gamera is still a protector of the Earth. So let's break this down a bit. What Lantern Cores do I think Gamera qualifies for? Well, right from the gate, with any kind of character like this, green is a very, I'm going to just center that picture a little better. There we go. Green is a very likely choice. Color of willpower, great will to overcome great fear, great willpower, imagination. Gamera does actually use its intelligence quite a bit, as a matter of fact. It's usually one of the ways it defeats slightly stronger opponents is to analyze the tactics and strengths of said opponents, while also, coming back and using that newfound knowledge to win. Gamera also knows how to use its imagination. When it's lost an arm, it's used the plasma that absorbs through the environment of the planet to create a new limb. That's very imaginative. So will could work. But let's be honest, it's still a giant freaking kaiju turtle that breathes plasma and flies. Fear probably works alright as well. I'd say fear is an option. It's probably not as strong, though, as green. Gamera seems to be more well-viewed in the overall run of its series than Godzilla is. Because Godzilla, obviously, the first few movies of Godzilla is very much an antagonist. Then Godzilla turns into a bit of an anti-hero, and then straight hero. Then you go back into Heisei, and Godzilla ranges from anti-hero to straight-up villain again. Then you go into the Millennium series, where it's like, Godzilla's the hero, sure, but kind of don't give a crap about us half the time. And then you go into Shin, where he's very much a villain. Godzilla Earth, where he's, again, kind of the villain, a little bit. And then Legendary, where he's the hero, definitely, but he doesn't view us in a very high regard. So his tenures fluctuate, whereas Gamera's has been a bit more stable. So while fear can work, I don't really think fear is a very good option. Now, I cannot remember if Gamera's actually died. So I don't want to. I know he's kind of given and sacrificed himself, but we know he's come back. So I don't know if Gamera's died, to be fair. So I wouldn't necessarily say Black Lantern ring. And if he has died, that doesn't mean he'd be a Black Lantern necessarily over any of the other ones. Gamera, though, is also not greedy. Gamera's very selfless, so I can't say Avarice is a good option for him either. And as well, I don't know if I could go with something like love. Gamera loves the planet, but I don't know if it's his duty to protect the planet comes out of love, duty, concern, or anything like that. I don't know if you can count it as love. What I think you can lean towards, though, is compassion, because I think that is really where Gamera's strength lies in terms of his, duty to protect the Earth and, fondness of kids. I think that's where that comes from, more compassion to understand children, and I think the reason that Gamera likes children so much, and this is just my theory, is the fact that Gamera knows that these are going to be the stewards of the next generation to help try to keep the Earth in check and balance and, try to care for the environment just as much as Gamera does. I think that's where the love, and I think it's because they're much more innocent and have much more purity than, say, an adult does, is why Gamera is much more fond of children than adults. So I would actually say compassion fits Gamera really well, especially because he's a very eco-friendly kaiju. I wouldn't say rage is a good option. We've seen Gamera angry plenty of times, but that's not the thing that fuels Gamera. Yes, if Gamera's in a rage, he could be a Red Lantern. Sure, if a Red Lantern ring is around there. That's kind of how a Red Lantern ring actually gets you, is it kind of catches you in a fit of rage. You don't have to be someone who's driven by your rage. You just have to really be angry in that moment, technically. So I guess in that sense, sure, it can be a Red Lantern, but just about any of us could be a Red Lantern at that point. Also, though, hope. Hope springs eternal, as they say. And Gamera, as the protector of the planet, would naturally inspire a lot of hope with the citizens of said planet. It's like, we live here. Gamera, defends this place. We value Gamera's protection. We very much appreciate him trying to save us. The fact that we may, screw it up and he may see us as an enemy, well, we're not aware of that, but whatever, it's all good. Gamera, he protects us. I honestly think that Hope is probably another good one. He is, again, labeled as a protector of the world, of the planet. So, we talked about green through red, through yellow, through sapphire, wire, black, life, compassion, the whole works. But there is one we should talk about. And this is the one that is very difficult to kind of figure out. The White Lantern Corps. White Lantern Corps is obviously the White Lantern Corps of life. Now, someone asks, like, well, isn't it just all lantern colors, lanterns brought together? It's like, yes, it is. Because that's what happens when you combine all those light spectrums together. In the spectrum, it makes white in terms of a light color. But it's the Lantern Corps of life. Just like black is the absence of all those colors and represents death. And the White Lantern rings have all the abilities of all the lanterns, plus more. But the catch is, you A, need to be alive, at minimum. And B, you need to A, nurture life, help protect life, and experience life. Like, when Deadman had the ring, he rode a roller coaster to feel alive again. And it was charging the ring up. He was able to bring back, nurture. That's why Swamp Thing made such a good, effective White Lantern. And the question becomes, is Gamera a really good option for something like that? Gamera feeds off money, feeds off life of the planet to help, his power. But is that really nurturing life? Because that's actually him feeding off life in some degree. Yes, he's obviously protecting the world, and by that admission protecting life, but he's willing to do what it takes to, keep the world safe, even if that were to mean to destroy us. I don't think Gamera would be a very good White Lantern. I think he might be able to hold on to that ring for a little bit, but as soon as he starts taking some lives and, threatening people, the White Lantern ring's just going to leave him. I don't think it's going to really work in his favor. So I would say no to the White Lantern. So of the big ones, which one do I think is the most likely? And the big ones for me are the Green Lantern, the Indigo Lantern, and the Blue Lantern. See, this is actually pretty tough, because I think there's actually a pretty good shot for all these three. But if I had to make a choice, I'd say green is probably the third most likely. And the reason I say that is there's really no reason for green to go for Gamera as opposed to other individuals. I think Gamera's compassion overall does overshadow the Green Lantern ring, the White Lantern ring will, but also the amount of hope he instills as a savior overshadows the Green Lantern ring. So that means blue and compassion are your two options here. For my money, I'm actually going to go something towards blue. I think blue is just a bit more likely, especially with the amount of hope that the kids place in him. I think that's really the deciding factor here. His compassion, I think, is very strong, but it has its limits. As we said, he does see humanity as a possible threat to the future potential and survival of the planet. But no matter how bad, the adults are, the kids always keep their faith in Gamera. And Gamera also puts his faith clearly in the kids. It's a two-way street when it comes to the Lantern Ring of Hope. Not only do so many have to put their faith and hope in you, you also can't lose your faith or hope either. And I think Gamera is very much someone who is akin to doing something like that. So, ultimately, I will say that Gamera is most likely a Blue Lantern with Compassion Indigo Lantern Corps as its secondary option, and the Green Lantern Corps as his third option. And then with the other two, or the other one, with the yellow following up in last place. But, in last place. So, anyway, though, that is my opinion on what Lantern Corps I think Gamera belongs in. Thank you for watching, though. I hope you enjoyed. What Legion Corps do you think he belongs in, though? Do you agree with which ones I went with, or is there another, another core you think you could possibly belong in? Do you think there's any chance it could be any of the other ones I, didn't include him in? Let me know in the comments below. But until then, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Hit that bell if you want to be notified. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.